Namaskar. Myself, Dr. CHAUHAN, Assistant Professor in Physics from Government Science College, Gandhinagar, going to deliver a presentation on IAPT DSMA award. This is the plan of my presentation. I will start from my qualification and experience. Then I will talk about my contributions in the field of publications, in the field of research, my contributions as a teacher, my contributions in the innovative projects, then my contributions in KCG and GIC, and at the end, my achievements. So I will start from myself. My educational qualification is MSc, MAd, PhD. I have carried out my BSc studies from the NG Science Institute, Ahmedabad, and obtained 74.5% marks. I have carried out my MSc studies from Department of Physics, School of Sciences, Gujarat University, and obtained 60.2% marks. I have carried out my B.Ed studies from AG Teachers College, Ahmedabad of Gujarat University, and obtained 75% marks. Then I have cleared my M.Ed from the same college and university with 55.4% mark. I have successfully completed my PhD studies in the year of 2012 from the Department of Physics, Saurashtra University, Rajkot, and my doctoral work is on growth and characterization of spheroid and related crystals. Now I will talk about my experience. I have started my career as a junior lecturer in the Curriculum, Material Development and Evolution branch of the DIET Ahmedabad. Then I was transferred to our head office at state level head office GCERT, that is Gujarat Council of Educational Research and Training, where I have served as a research fellow, assistant project coordinator, as well as research associate for these durations. So experience in the DIET and GCERT in the cadre of teacher educator is more than 5 years. Then after successfully clearing my GPSC exam, I was appointed as a lecturer in physics at HNSB Kotak Institute of Science, Rajkot. Then in June 2012, I was transferred to Government Science College, Gandhinagar with additional charges of OST at GEIC and in-charge director extension at KCG. So total educational experience comes out to be more than 19 years. Now I will talk about my contributions in the field of textbooks, magazines, articles, publications. So I have contributed as a co-author in 11 books. I have contributed as co-reviewer in 2 books, and I have contributed as a translator cum editor in 1 book. These are the titles of the book in which I have contributed as a co-author in textbook publication. Let us see one by one. I have contributed 8 chapters in the textbook of Science Standard 7. Similarly, I have contributed 2 chapters in the textbook of Science and Technology of Standard 8. Contributed 5 chapters in the textbook of Science and Technology of Standard 9. Contributed 6 chapters in Science and Technology, Practical Book of Science and Technology of Standard 8. Then contributed 7 chapters in the Practical Book of Science and Technology Standard 9, contributed 7 chapters in the modified revised version of the Practical Book of Science and Technology of Standard 9, then contributed 4 chapters in the textbook of Physics of Standard 11. This is the part 1 and this is the part 2 of this textbook. Then I have contributed 11 chapters in the Physics Practical and Record Book of Standard 11. I have contributed 5 chapters in Physics Practical and Record Book of Standard 12 designed on old courses. Similarly, I have contributed for 4 chapters in Physics and Practical Record Book of Standard 12 designed on new course. These are the self-instructional material for science and maths published by IAPT IT Cell GCERT. Now I will talk my contribution as a co-reviewer in textbook publication. I have reviewed all the chapters of the textbook of Science of Standard 6 as well as the textbook of Science Education of 2nd year PTC. I have contributed as a co-author cum translator cum editor in a book named Glossary of Geophysics published by University Granth Nirman Board, Ahmedabad. I will talk about my contributions as a co-editor in the magazine's publication. I have served as a co-editor in 6 issues of Jivan Shikshan and 1 issue of Vigyan Setu. Both the magazines were published by Gujarat Council of Educational Research and Training. These are the different issues of Jivan Shikshan and Vigyan Setu. I have also contributed as a member of editorial board in the magazines like Vigyan Parichay and Vigyan Setu for this issue. Now I will talk about my contributions as an author of articles published in the magazines. I have published 4 articles in Vigyan Setu, 6 articles in Jivan Shikshan, 1 article in Gujarat, and 1 article is going to be published in Pragami Tarang. These are the various articles published by me. I will quickly go through all these articles. Now, I will talk about my contributions in the field of research. So, I have carried out my studies on growth and characterization of struvite and related crystals. So, I have worked on struvite, struvite K as well as struvite Na. Usually, struvite occurs as a mineral in caves and lakes. It also grows as a wastewater pipelines. It also grows as a biomineral in human kidneys as well as enteroliths of zebras and horses. It is surprisingly also found in human lung. So struvite as a urinary calculus, struvite is one of the component of urinary stone. It is found in kidney stones as pure and mixed form. Struvite occurs as crystallites in urine and grow as a type of kidney stone. These are the crystalline components of urinary stones, out of which struvite is one of the phosphate type urinary stone. Usually urinary stone grows up in the kidney or in the ureters, or it may grow in the bladder. Usually struvite grows in the kidney and blocks the entire pelvis region of the kidney and grows as a staghorn calculi, which is more painful urological disorder. Now in lab I have grown the struvite crystals with different morphologies. Similarly, I have grown struvite K crystals with different morphology, struvite Na crystals with different morphology. All the grown crystals were characterized by powder XRD, FTIR. I have also carried out thermal studies like TGA, DTA and DSA and find out the thermodynamic parameters and kinetic parameters of the crystals. I have also carried out dielectric study as well as Vegas microhardness study and chemical aging study of the grown crystals. Now, I have also carried out the growth inhibition study of struvite. Now, question arises, why the growth inhibition of struvite was carried out? Because it grows as a staghorn calculi, it has a life-threatening complication, it has a high degree of recurrences and high percentage of epidemiology. These are the various available surgical options for the management of struvite. Although surgical management has become increasingly tolerable, medical prevention of recurrent struvite calculi is greatly desirable. In such a condition, it is the need of society to discover such drugs which will inhibit struvite growth in addition to high success rates, excellent safety profile, low side effect profile and ease of use is ideal for the management of calculi. Therefore, it is prime importance to study the growth inhibition of struvite crystals. So, the goal of this growth inhibition research was dual. First, to find out the inhibition efficiency of herbal extracts as well as fruit juices and to identify the green inhibitors of struvite. So I have carried out the growth inhibition study of struvite using herbal extracts like Boerevia diffusaline, Commiphora vitae and Rotula acutica lor, as well as using fruit juices of Citrus medicaline. All the data and results were published in well-known journals. Now I will talk about my research paper publications. I have published 7 papers in the international journals, 3 papers in the national journals, 3 papers in the conference proceedings. Research paper publication. These are the various international publications. I have published a paper in urological research which was published by Springer. I have also published a research paper in Journal of Material Science and Materials in Medicine which was also published by Springer. American Journal of Infectious Diseases Crystal Research and Technology published by Ville. 2 papers in the Journal of Crystal Growth published by Elsevier and 1 paper in the Modern Physics Latest V. Let us quickly go through these papers. This is the paper on urological research. This is the title of the journal and this is the first page of my paper. Then Journal of Material Science and Materials in Medicine. then American Journal of Infectious Diseases, Crystal Research in Technology. Then I have published in vitro crystallization, characterization and growth inhibition study of urinary tract white crystals in the Journal of Crystal Growth. Then another paper on steroid DNA was published in Journal of Crystal Growth. This is the paper published in Modern Physics Latest B. Now I will talk about my recent paper publications in the national journals. My papers were published in the Journal of Pure and Applied Physics, Indian Journal of Biochemistry and Biophysics. Both the journals were published by NISCAR, and I have also published one paper in a journal WAC published by Sabas University. So these are the papers published in IJPAP as well as in IJBB and in the WAC. Now I will talk about research paper publication in the conference proceedings. I have 3 research papers published in the conference proceedings, out of which one is published in proceedings of ICMR Strategic Thrust Symposium held at Mumbai in 2012. This is the proceedings. Another paper is published in the proceedings of 15th NSCG conducted in 2011. Also proceedings in the 59th BA Solid State Physics Symposium 2014. This is the AIP conference proceedings of BA conference. Now I will talk about my participation as an invited speaker. I have participated as an invited speaker in the international conference, namely ICMAT 2011 in Singapore. This is the invitation letter, this is the abstract book. This is the title and timings of my paper, and this is the certificate of participation in the ICMAT. I have delivered my invited talk in the symposium FF of the ICMAT 2011 and presented my invited talk on in vitro crystallization, characterization and growth inhibition study of urinary tract white crystals. The talk was about 30 minutes. This is some visuals of the picture. I have also contributed as a session chair in the international conference ICMAT 2011 and chaired the session FF3. Now I will talk about my research paper presentations in various conferences, seminars and symposia. I have total 19 papers, out of which 10 papers I have acted as a first and presenting author. In 9 papers, I was co-author of the paper presented in the conferences. So let us talk about the first and presenting author research paper presentations in various conferences. I have presented a paper in 11th NSCG 2006. I have also, this is the abstract book, abstract and certificate of participation. I have also participated in national seminar on recent trends in material science and given an oral talk. Then also participated in IUMRS ICAM 2007 conference at Bangalore. These are the visuals of that conference. I have also participated in international conference on molecular medicine 2009. These are the abstract book, abstracts and certificate of participation. I have also participated in ICMAT 2009 at Singapore and published this, present this paper orally. These are the abstract books and some photographs of the ICMAT events. Then in 2010, I have participated in international conference on crystal growth and presented a paper as a poster. This is my poster. I have also participated in a photo contest in ICCG. These are the various visuals and moments of a 2010 conference. Then I have participated in ISP 2012 at Rajkot and presented a poster which was selected as oral presentation, and so I have also presented orally this paper in ISP 2012. I have also participated in EPSCON 2015 held at Rajkot and presented two papers, one as a poster and another one as a oral presentation. These are the visuals of IPSCON 2015. Now I will talk about the co-author of 9 research paper presentations in conferences, seminars and symposia. I will go quickly. One paper in ICCG 2007 USA, another paper is in National Seminar at Rajkot, one paper in the National Seminar on Crystallography in 2010 at Jammu. Then one paper was presented in ISCD 2011, one paper in 15th NSCG 2011, one paper in the ICMR Strategic Thrust Symposium, ICMR Strategic Thrust Symposium. This is the first page of the paper. Then in the 59 DAE Solistic Physics Symposium, and then in the international conference held at Orlando, USA, which was presented by my co-author. Then in 26th NSCGE held at Chennai in 2016. Now I will talk about participation in conference, seminar and workshops. These are the various workshops. I will quickly go through the slides, will not talk in details. I have participated in National Space Science Symposium in 2010, National Workshop on Nanoscience and Nanotechnology, NWXRD 2010, Workshop on Innovative Experiments in Physics. Now I will talk about my contribution as a reviewer in the research journals. I am contributing as a reviewer in 3 journals, namely Journal of Crystal Growth, Journal of Crystal Growth and Design, and Chemical Bioengineering Reviews. Now you will find my pages on ResearchGate, my page on Google Scholar, and also find my page on Academic Edu. Now I will talk about my contributions as a teacher. Most of the things I have given in my application, so I will not duplicate all these things, but as you have asked to present or to give a demo of a lecture, so I will talk about double slit experiment as a demo. I will discuss double slit experiment with toy, machine gun, with light and with electron gun. So first of all, I would like to discuss double slit experiment with toy machine gun. This is our toy machine gun, this is the aperture screen and this is the target screen. Gun fires the bullets over a particular range of angles. We have 3 different cases: when one hole is open, when only hole 2 is open, and when both the holes were open. These are the 3 conditions, and in all the 3 conditions we will fire bullets from this toy machine gun and see what happens on the target screen. So first of all, we will open hole 1 and close hole 2, and we will get bullets on the A side of the target screen. Now we replace target screen and carry out second case. In second case, we keep hole 2 as open and hole 1 closed, and we get the results like this. We found bullets on side B of the target screen. Again we replace our target screen and discuss the third case. Both the holes kept open and see what happens. So these are the results. This is the appearance of the target screen showing the sprays of the bullets in all the 3 cases, and these are the probability distribution curves in all the 3 cases. Here we can see that probability P12 is directly equal to summation of P1 plus P2. Now we replace the aperture screen by a slit screen and found what happens. So as a result we got results like this: appearance of the target screen showing the sprays of the bullet in case 1, case 2 and case 3. So here also P12 is equal to P1 plus P2. So you can see that this is a very simple experiment. Now we will discuss a double slit experiment with light and see what happens with the case of light. So in this case we have a lamp, we have a slate of screen, and this is the photographic film. Similarly, we will go through all the three cases. In the first case, we keep slit 1 open and slit 2 closed, and see what happens. We will get a diffraction pattern towards A side. Now in case 2, we keep slit 2 as open and slit 1 closed, and found what happens on the photographic film. We will again get the diffraction pattern on the photographic film. Now in the third case, when we keep both the slits open and see what happens on the photographic film, we will get interference pattern on the photographic film. So these are the results in all the three cases. When one single slit open, we will get diffraction patterns, and these are the intensity distribution curves in both the cases. Whereas in third case, we get interference pattern, and in this case we have the intensity distribution curve like this, and here I12 is not equal to I1 plus I2. So you can say, sir, we have learned all these things in 12th standard. What is new in this experiment? But hold on, I will discuss third part of the experiment, double slit experiment with electron gun. Now I will replace light source by electron gun. Suppose I have an electron gun and carry out the experiment in the same manner. Here we have an electron detector array as a photographic, or you can use a photographic film to detect the electrons on the target screen. We will discuss all the three cases again and see what happens. In the first case, when slit 1 is open and slit 2 is closed, we will get a result like a bullet case, that is electrons behaves like a particle. Again, in the second case, we keep slit 2 open and slit 1 closed and find what happens in the photographic film. Again, we got a result in which electrons behaves like a particle. So these two cases are very simple, but see what happens in this case now. Here in this case, we keep open both the slits and fire electrons from this electron gun and see what happens on the our target screen. Oh, surprisingly, we got an interference pattern. So interference pattern was obtained when both the slits were kept open. So it is a wave-like nature. So these are the results in all the three cases. When we keep slit 1 open, electron behaves like a particle. When we keep slit 2 open, electrons behaves like a particle. But when we keep both the slits open, electron behaves like a wave. It is really surprising. So very number of questions arise in our mind. When any one slit open, electrons behaves like particle. When two slits open, electrons behaves like wave. But what is an electron? Whether it is a particle or wave? How does electron know when to do what? Interference occurs in the case of light because the same wave goes through both the slits. Interference also occurs in the case of electrons when we keep both the slits open. Does it mean the same electron goes through both the slits? How is it possible? Does the electron secretly break up and then reassemble once it passed through slits? Now we are smart enough, and in this case we are employing secret agents, that is spies. So we carry out this double slit experiment with electron gun in the presence of spies to detect the electrons' behavior. So we have three agents, alpha, beta and gamma, deputed at slit 1, slit 2 and at the target screen. And again repeat the experiment. For slit 1 open, we will get result and it is same as a particle-like nature. In second case, when slit 2 is open and slit 1 is closed, again we get a result like particle-like nature. Now we keep both the slits open. And see what happens. Oh, surprisingly, again this is a particle-like nature and no interference pattern was observed. We expect interference pattern in this case, but instead of interference pattern, there is no interference pattern in the presence of spice. Now, these are the results. Without spice, we got interference pattern, and in the presence of spice, we got no interference pattern. So, without spice, electron behaves like a wave, and in the presence of spice, electron behaves like a particle. Oh, it is very surprising. We expected the detector array will show us an interference pattern in this case, but instead of, we got results similar to bullet case. In the presence of observer, the results are strange. Now let us repeat the experiment without spice and check whether we get this result correct or not. So again, in the absence of spice, interference pattern was observed. Oh, it is again very surprising. So let us think our agents were liar. So we have think to replace our entire team of secret agents, and we replace older agents by new agents and carry out the same experiment again, and found that again in the presence of different spices no interference pattern was observed. So it is confirmed that without observer, interference pattern is observed, with observers no interference pattern observed. So Heisenberg commented on this experiment that this is a very strange result, since it seems to indicate that observation plays a decisive role in the event, and that reality varies depending upon whether we observe it or not. As we know, universe is made up of matter and radiation. What de Broglie think is, at the most fundamental level, matter and radiation should be similar in nature. So he argued that if radiation has a dual nature, then the matter must have dual nature. So he has given de Broglie hypothesis and given the idea of matter waves, which is also known as de Broglie waves. So, these are the three experiments: experiment of Davison and Germer, experiment of G.P. Thomson and Kikukai experiments. All these three experiments have proved the existence of de Broglie waves associated with the electrons. That is very surprising. So what can you say about electron now? We know that J.J. Thomson discovered electrons in 1897 and said that electron is a particle. So, as a result, he received the Nobel Prize in 1906 for proving that cathode rays were actually particles, that is electrons. But after 31 years, his own son, Mr. G.P. Thomson, who received the Nobel Prize in 1937 for electron diffraction experiment, and he proved that electrons are waves. So, father says that electron is a particle. After 31 years, his son says electrons are waves. So, electron behaves like a particle and electron behaves like a wave. So, what is an electron? Whether it is a particle or wave, we can say vehicle. That's it about my demo. Now, I will continue about my co-curricular activities in the colleges. I used to organize orientation functions for the newcomers in the college. These are the various visuals of the orientation function. I have also contributed in the NEC part in the college. Then I have participated in the state level science maths exhibition. I have also participated in capacity building programs. Also served as a center in charge of our NGPE exams. I have also conducted general knowledge tests. I have acted as a resource person in the Doordarshan program, Vigyan Mein Vistarti Kshitijo. These are the visuals of the program. I have also conducted science quiz programs in the colleges with various rounds, 1010, These are the various pictures. I have conducted a study tour to National Children's Science Congress at Science City, Ahmedabad. Our student got third prize in the state level physics quiz. We also encourage our students to participate in summer program. This is the pictures showing the Teachers' Day celebration. This is the NGP 2015. Conducted a tour to FCIPT, that is Facilitation Center for Industrial Plasma Technologists, with students. These are the pictures of farewell and prize distribution ceremony conducted at GSCG in 2015. Now I will talk about my extracurricular activities. I have organized and conducted Swarning Gujarat celebration of International Day of Non-Violence. Then I have also delivered awareness lectures on swine flu. We participated in swine flu rally in the Rajkot. I used to play a role as an umpire in inter-class cricket tournament also. Now, I used to get students' feedback in every year. So these are the pictures which shows that students are giving their feedbacks through questionnaire given by me. Now my contributions in innovative projects. I have contributed in IPTT ITV project, which means in-service primary teachers training through applications of interactive television. This is the pilot project conducted by GCERT, and it is the collaborative project of MHRD, NCERT, GCERT, ITU and UNESCO. I have served as an assistant project coordinator in this project and conducted workshops on IPTT ITV project. These are the various materials. We have prepared print as well as audio as well as video material in this project. I have also contributed in the radio series, namely Bhar Binanu Bantar, means education without burden. This is the 17th episode radio series produced and sponsored by GCRT Gandhinagar. I have also carried out online 6th pay fixation process through IFMS and GSWAN, so this is my administrative work. Now I will talk about the contributions as a member of evaluators and appraisal committee in various 7 state level math science exhibitions conducted by GCRT. These are the list of these events. Now my contributions as a resource person in various training programs, in teleconferences from DECO ISRO Ahmedabad, RISICO Gandhinagar and BISEC Gandhinagar, I have acted as a resource person. Similarly, I have acted as a resource person in face-to-face trainings conducted by DIET, GCRT as well as Gujarat Secondary Board and Textbook Board. Now I will talk about my contributions in Knowledge Consortium of Gujarat. This is the excellent campus of KCG, that is Knowledge Consortium of Gujarat, also known as Panyapuram, which is quite opposite to PRL in Ahmedabad. These are the 5 major areas on which KCG is working on, and I was given a charge of Director Extension, and I am taking care of mission mode implementation, Saptadhara initiative and Sandhan initiative, and I have taken care of eGyan portal as far as Saptadhara is concerned. So these are the main objective or functions of mission mode implementation, in which all the KCG we plan all the KCG initiatives, then implement it, monitor it, regulate it, and got feedback, and again replan accordingly. This is the quality enhancement program through cascade model of higher education. From state level to grassroots level, we have 1032 colleges in the Gujarat, and all the colleges are grouped in a cluster. Few clusters are grouped in a higher education district, and higher education districts clubbed in zone, and there are 5 zones. These are the main functions of KCG: to connect universities, colleges and industries, to facilitate universities, colleges, teachers and students, to collaborate, to promote innovations and research, and to change infrastructure as well as mindset and methodology. I have contributed in a short film on Knowledge Consortium of Gujarat. It is a 6.31 minute film of KCG and initiatives of KCG, which was uploaded on YouTube on 16th May, that is on the day of opening of this new building, and this film was uploaded on Honorable Narendra Modi Sahib's YouTube channel. You can see this video using this URL. I have also actively participated in the inauguration function of the new campus of KCG. These are some of the visuals of the inauguration functions. Now, I have also participated in international conference of academic institutions organized by KCG. This is the team KCG. This picture shows my active participation in one-to-one meeting during ICAI 2013. I have also contributed to Knowledge Pavilion, that is exhibition during the Vibrant Gujarat Summit. This is some of the pictures of this Knowledge Pavilion. Then I have anchored a Sandhan program from Bisect Studio with Professor Arun Nigwekar, who is the ex-chairman of UGC and NEC founder director. I have conducted various meetings and carried out interaction with higher education district coordinators, cluster coordinators, college principals in various HEDs. These are some of the visuals during my HED visits and interaction with the principals of the higher education districts of Gujarat. These are the interaction with CA's head, that is college student higher education ambassador students. 4 students were selected from every college, and I have interacted with many students during HED visits. These are the visuals. I have also organized and conducted orientation programs for the Sandhan initiative in charges for all the higher education districts of Gujarat. I have also organized and conducted one-day orientation program for Saptadhara initiative in charges of all higher education districts of Gujarat. I have also organized various zonal level as well as state level Saptadhara Mahotsavs. Now I will talk about my contributions in GEIC, that is Gujarat Educational Innovation Commission, where I was appointed as an OSD. This is the main aim of GEIC, to promote conception, experimentation and implementation of educational innovations in the state of Gujarat. These are the visuals of MOU which is carried out between GEIC, GCERT and IIM Ahmedabad. I have also organized the state level educational innovation exhibition in 2013 at Rajkot along with the math science exhibition. Now I will talk about my achievements. A certificate of appreciation and felicitation was awarded by Honorable Dr. Jayanti Ravi, Commissioner of Higher Education Gujarat in 2010 for the participation in international conferences and for the contribution in scientific research and development. I have also shared my research work and my experiences with Commissioner as well as the principal and the students of my college. I was also awarded a certificate and award for the outstanding performance in the field of book publication, research paper publication in international journals and participation in international conferences from the hands of Honorable Higher Education Minister of Gujarat in October 2013 on behalf of Gujarat State Government College Teachers Association. I have also obtained Best Paper Presentation Award in 11th NSCG in 2006. These are the various trophies. Some examples of achievements of my students also I would like to present. This is Priyanka Trivedi, who stood first in TYBSc Physics in March 2009 exam. She has completed her PhD under the Dr. D.G. Kuberkar sir from Saurashtra University, and nowadays she is acting as a research associate in IUAC campus, New Delhi. This is Jaideep Joshi, who got first prize in the state level essay competition organized by IAPT Gujarat chapter in 2008-9. This is the certificate and letter of appreciation from our Vice Chancellor of Saurashtra University. This is Purvesh Vyas. He is my first TY batch student. He has completed his PhD under Dr. N.J. Joshi sir. He has many publications in his credit. In some of the research paper publications, we are co-authors, and right now, he is serving as assistant professor in Kramani Science College, Amreli. This is about Joshi Vaisali, who also stood first in college in TYBSc 2006, and nowadays she is serving as an assistant professor in LD College of Engineering, Ahmedabad. This is something about Puvi Joshi. She also stood first in college in 2019 batch. She is declared as a Swarnim Star student of the Saurashtra University in MSc. She got 88.83% marks. She was deputed to Germany by IPR for 2 months. Now she is working as a scientist SC in ISRO. So this is proud for me. At last, I will conclude. As a teacher, I understand the challenges of students' life and try to provide my level best services with commitment and competences as a teacher, as a guide, as a facilitator, as a mentor, to help them in achieving their academic as well as personal goals. Thank you very much.